Welcome back. In addition to the work of NCBA staff here in Washington, D.C., sometimes cattle producers themselves come to town to share their own story directly with lawmakers. Russell Nemitz has more on this from Capitol Hill. Russell?
That's right, Kevin. In fact, right now we're standing outside the U.S. Capitol building here in our nation's capital. That's because we're going to visit with JJ Goycochea from Nevada. And JJ, you're a busy man. You've got a lot of irons in the fire back home with Nevada's beef cattle industry. Talk about why you're in our nation's capital today.
Sure. Well, Russell, today I'm here to talk about sage grouse and the state plans that were developed to try to help manage that sage grouse and the habitat in the West. It's obviously a key issue. The 2015 land use plan amendments that came down are troublesome to some of us. They don't incorporate enough of those state plans. So we're here to see if we can't get a little bit more local and state involvement in those.
You know, how important is it for cattlemen and cattlewomen like yourself to actually make the trip here to Washington, D.C. and tell your story directly to members of Congress?
Well, if we don't make the trip here and tell our story, someone else is telling the story, and it's not always going to be accurate. There's no one that knows best than those of us closest to the resources on the ground. And yeah, it takes a lot of time, it takes some resources to get here. You've got to have a good family and support network at home, but we've got to make the trip. If we don't, again, someone else is telling that story.
You know, talk about some of your activities back home in Nevada that involve the cattle industry.
Sure, so I'm a fourth generation cattle rancher. I was in private practice as a large animal veterinarian for 17 years. I've been blessed with being the state vet for the last couple of years for the state of Nevada. I serve on the executive committee, Nevada Cattlemen's Association, and I'm the current vice chair of NCBA's Federal Lands Committee as well. So I do have a lot of irons in the fire, but I believe in this industry and I'll keep fighting for it as long as I can.
Well, absolutely, and we know these members of Congress are busy men and women for sure, and they have a lot of different groups coming to them every single day, but when you make the trip out here and they hear it from guys like you themselves, it really hits home for a lot of them.
I think it does, and I think they appreciate that. You know, a name with a face goes a long ways. You can send letters, you can make the phone calls, but when they get here and they see what you're really all about, and they know that you walk the walk and talk the talk, it makes a big difference to them.
Well, of course, for states like Nevada, I mean, public lands play a very critical role to the overall success of the U.S. beef cattle industry.
Absolutely, and especially in the West, and with at least 40% of our western beef herd spending some time on our public lands out west, it is key. And if we don't have that, this beef industry can't sustain itself in the West.
Well, and just one or two guys like yourself can't tell the entire message either for the U.S. beef cattle industry. Is this something you encourage other cattlemen and cattlewomen to get involved with and at least get involved some sort of way?
Oh, absolutely. So start at that local level and your state association. You've got to be involved in the National Cattlemen's Beef Association and the Public Lands Council. Those two groups in the West work so well together and so close. That they are our voice here on the Hill, and if you can come out here and work with them, we will be a lot more productive going forward.
Absolutely. Well, we certainly appreciate you for stepping up to the plate as well and being a volunteer leader for our industry.
Well, thank you, and thank you guys for all you do to get our message out there. Thank you, Russell.
All right, Kevin, that's going to do it for now from Capitol Hill. We'll go ahead and send it back to you.